North Korea crisis just heated up after the country fired another long-range missile.
Yeah, latest one reportedly flew higher and farther than the previous ones, and there are reports that it could travel all the way to Washington, D.C. KCAL9's Tom Wade is following this developing story here tonight on KCAL9.
Yeah, Jeff and Lena, we are definitely learning more about the missile that the North fired. The North State Television said Wednesday the new ICBM was significantly more powerful than the previous long-range weapon that the North had tested. North Korea's latest missile launch happened in the middle of the night, but perhaps most alarming about this ICBM was its range. Defense Secretary Mattis today sounding the alarm.
It went higher, frankly, than any previous shot they've taken. It's a research and development effort on their part to continue building ballistic missiles that could threaten everywhere in the world, basically.
The missile was fired from a mobile launcher just north of the capital of Pyongyang and flew for more than 50 minutes, climbing more than 2,300 miles into space before splashing down in the Sea of Japan. Because it was fired at such a high angle, the missile was never a threat to the United States, but calculations done by David Wright of the Union of Concerned Scientists showed that if it had been fired on a standard trajectory, it could have traveled 8,100 miles, far enough to reach Washington, D.C. or anywhere else in the U.S. Within minutes of the launch, South Korea conducted a missile firing drill of its own.
The South Koreans have fired some pinpoint missiles out into the water to make certain North Korea understands that they could be taken under fire by our ally.
President Trump was briefed on the launch while the missile was in the air.
It is a situation that we will handle.
The president also tweeted this tonight. After North Korea missile launch, it's more important than ever to fund our government and military. Dems shouldn't hold troop funding hostage for amnesty and illegal immigration. I ran on stopping illegal immigration and won big. They can't now threaten a shutdown to get their demands. Trump's Twitter attack tonight was part of a back and forth he initiated earlier in the day when he attacked Democratic leaders ahead of a scheduled meeting on the budget. As for the launch, as frightening as it may appear, experts say the latest move by Kim Jong-un was expected.
It's not actually really that different from the others. We all expected another ballistic missile launch. It was a little surprised that it came this early, but they are clearly trying to perfect their nuclear and missile capability.
Professor Kang says the ultimate goal for North Korea remains the same, equipping a long-range missile with a nuclear warhead.
This is one thing that North Korea is trying to do as quickly as possible, which is get a clear, deliverable nuclear missile capability. So the next task is, can they miniaturize a nuke? Can they get that nuclear weapon on the missile and can get the missile to go where they want it to go?
North Korea began firing ballistic missiles at a rate of 2 or 3 a month starting in April. One of them passed over Japan's northern Hokkaido island. The last missile was launched in September. Today, Hawaiian officials previewed a new statewide siren system to warn of an impending missile strike.
The focus is to get the public and our visitors as much warning time to prepare as possible.
South Korea's president held an emergency meeting with national security advisors to respond to the missile launch by North Korea. He said the move threatens international peace and security and called on Kim Jong-un's regime to stop its reckless choices that will lead it to isolation and its downfall. And as we reported, this missile went higher than any other tested so far by North Korea. To give you some perspective, the missile reached a height 10 times higher than the International Space Station. Back to you guys.